And hello, everybody. We are going to go start a couple minutes early since I didn't do a lot of promotion for this live sale. Give people a couple minutes of head start to find out that I'm going to be here. It's been a while since I've done a regular Thursday. I've been trying to slide back into it. Of course, my schedule keeps getting in the way, but I am here on my Thursday, not really my slot, but the slot that I was normally in. And we got Heather Elizabeth is here. And yes, you're asking, am I finally giving Etsy the heave ho? So it's been several months then since I've really had anything on it. I was getting to a point where the items that were on Etsy, I've been on Etsy since I started reselling. So I started reselling in October 2019. So the October before the pandemic. And I only was on Etsy. And everyone said, "Oh, you need to be on eBay. You need to be on eBay." Well, I was doing a lot of glass and porcelain. I was doing more like collectible type things. And I felt that Etsy was going to be a better place because it was a little bit less crowded for the marketplace and it was collectible stuff, So it was one of those cases where I felt I didn't want to be alongside some of the stuff that eBay sold, and it was simpler. I knew it. That's all I did. And I will say it was successful. I think it was particularly successful during the early days of the pandemic. I kept it going. I did a lot of advertising. I was, putting things into it regularly. It's all about feeding the algorithm. But it just got to a point that when I stopped basically feeding it money, when I stopped doing the promoted sales, when I stopped doing it. So for those who don't know the difference between listing on eBay and listing on Etsy, as a general structure, Etsy, you pay every time you list something. So whether it sells or not, you actually pay for it. eBay, there's some store fees. Like there's some ways that they still are kind of charging you, but it works a little bit differently. And in the case of Etsy, what would happen is you would pay that fee. I think it's good for 3 months, maybe 4 months. I don't remember now. And if it didn't sell, it would relist again. Now this fee was not large, but then when you sold it, you had a fee on top of that. And so you were always paying these fees. And so I had stuff from the very first days, and some of the stuff I might be selling tonight might be from the very early days that were on there that I just kept paying this 20-25 cent listing fee every time it renewed, and it just wasn't selling. It wasn't because it was bad stuff. It just, there wasn't a market for it. Or as I started learning, if you didn't have the right keywords, if you didn't have the right things for people to find it, it may be a great piece, but if somebody always stumbled across it, they wouldn't know to buy it. So slowly tried to figure out what I wanted to do, kind of weaned away from Etsy and didn't do anything with eBay either. So I just wasn't doing anything. I was just doing YouTube. And I just got to a point where eBay and people told me this left and right. Like it's so much simpler to list on eBay. And yes, there's a lot more competition, but there's also a lot more people. There's a lot more viewers. So you have the chance for more people to run across it. So I did start doing a little bit more on eBay. And it just became, I'm still not super successful, but it was simpler. And it just got to a point where I know there are cross listing options where you can like do services that you can list on one and automatically list elsewhere. That just seemed to me a little bit too much for me to maintain because this is still a side hustle for me. I have a full-time job. And so I've never gotten into Poshmark. I've never gotten into, there are other ones, Poshmark. There's another major one that the name has completely left my mind. I just never got into those because it's like, look, I haven't even mastered Etsy or eBay yet. I don't need to start driving into these uncharted territories. And so Etsy, it's technically, I still have an Etsy location. It's just, there's nothing in there right now. So I notice a lot of my social media, my link tree, I'll still send people, you can go to my Etsy, quote unquote, my Etsy store. There's just nothing there. And several months ago, I did the kind of part one of this sale where I literally just got into some of the boxes that I had for inventory. And I can tell how old some of these things are just by the way they're wrapped, and realized that there was just stuff that I'd, like, to a certain extent forgotten I even had. And it was a fun sale. I just gave everything and just like randomly pulled prices, and it was fine. And I just never got a chance to do another one. So I still need to do I need to do a haul video for the trip that I was just on. I've been getting a lot more into ephemera, which I am really enjoying. It's just something I've always enjoyed. And it's also that's selling fairly well on eBay. And I've got a decor video decorating with ephemera that I want to get together. There's other things I need to do, but all this stuff that I got on my trip, I need to put it somewhere. And also, as a side thing, my daughter graduated from, I got her master's degree in museum studies. That's why I was on that trip. I went to the East Coast for her graduation. She is now in the process of, she got her first job. She's a curator at a museum. She is going to be getting her first apartment, which means she's moving out. And she's taking some of the Rubbermaids that I was using to store stuff. She needs those to take things with her. So this is doing double duty. I need to free up some of the Rubbermaids, free up some space to put some other stuff. And I'm just going to get rid of a lot of things at the same time. So I said hello to Heather Elizabeth. Hello to Alicia. Thanks for joining. And hi to Gia for joining. And Chad is joining from Maryland, and Debbie coming in from Chicago. Nanny Fufu, hello. Back in the days, Fines, thanks for joining. Back in the day, Fines, I actually, you did buy for me from Scott Sale, but I think you bought for me before as well. So there are a bunch of new names that popped up. When I was on my trip, I did have a chance to shop with Scott from the old Curiosity Shop, which was a lot of fun. And then we did do a sale on his channel. So, and that was selling most of the stuff I had already been buying. I have no business buying all the stuff I'm buying. I have plenty of inventory. I could not buy for another year and just totally be fine listing what I have. But what I've discovered is I'm not excited to sell it. I just don't want to list it. And I think we're all falling into that problem. And I refuse to have a death pile. If it's not going to sell, I just donated literally 3 big paper grocery bags of books. I did scan them all just to make sure nothing was particularly valuable. But as I'm scanning them, they all were coming back with others being listed at like $3 and $4. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have time. It's kind of free money because these are books. My daughter's going through. We've been storing these since we moved the last time. She doesn't want them in her new place. I'm not going to store them anymore. So they're getting rid of all these books. And I'm looking at it like, oh, I'm a bad reseller. Like this is money. Like I listen to reselling podcasts and they talk about having opportunities to pick up all this stuff. And I'm just like, you know what? I barely have time to list as it is. I can't be listing stuff that I'm going to sell for $3 that then I still have to spend the time to package up and use packing materials and get all that stuff out the door. So I feel like I'm doing a good service. I send it all to Goodwill. And so another picker can be like, oh, look at this pay dirt of all these books. Because even the people that received them, because I put them all just in the big grocery bags, they're like, are these all books in these bags? Yes. And they took them straight to the floor. Like they didn't even bother processing through them because they wanted to get them out of the floor. So hopefully someone else will pick those up. And so, so Robert is joining us. And so tonight I'm going to do exactly what I did the last time. I'm going to I can only do so much. And the energy, some of it energy to me, it's not even always about making money. Yes, I want to make money, but it's not always about just making the most money. It's enjoying it too. And so like I listen to podcasts, I watch YouTube videos, some amazing resellers that are super, super successful. And they'll talk about this great haul they found. A pallet of diapers. UBU. I'm not selling diapers. Like I just couldn't even imagine. So taking pictures, how do you take a picture of diapers? Like I listen to a podcast. I won't say which one it is. I like it a lot. And there's a lot of good things in it, but there's a lot of stuff that really, really upsets me. And so it's like finding that balance. And one of the things they commented on recently was, oh, you don't need to take a lot of pictures. Just take one picture. That's all. People know what they're buying. They don't need to take pictures. Okay. I guess if you're selling diapers, you do only need to take one picture. But for what I want to sell, eBay changed sometime last year, I think, from going from 12 photos to 24. I pride myself in going up and taking 24 pictures. Like I will take as much as I can and give as much detail as possible. And I think my buyers will appreciate it. I don't know, but it does take me a lot longer to list. So if I'm going to sit down and list something, I want to list something that I want to enjoy. Yes, Nanny Fufu, you have bought for me as well. I was originally going to say back in the day had only bought for me at Scott's. And then I remembered that I don't think that was the case. I think they had purchased for me before because there were a lot of people that joined me on Scott's channel it was Scott's channel, but had purchased from me on Scott's channel that I did not know. Because he does have a significantly larger channel than I do. And he's built he's amazing. He's just he's an amazing person, but he's had an amazing ability to build up his channel really without any use of social media. He does not have Facebook. He does not have Instagram. He does not have TikTok. He doesn't do anything. He's just been doing this for years. And I think he's up to, 25,000 followers, something like that. And they've all been generated like completely organically. They're just people that have followed just as I did. I was watching his videos religiously before I got into reselling because he shares so many different things. I could learn like, okay, how is he doing it? Why is he buying that and not buying that? What is he going to sell this for? And those were back before the days of live sales and that all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there were a bunch of names that did show up on that. And so when I was shipping, gratefully everyone contacted me. I got everyone's information, but there were a lot of names I didn't know. And back in the day, fine, it had been a while, but I appreciate every customer I've had. Bree has purchased from me before. Debbie has purchased from me before. Chad has purchased from me before. So tonight, what I'm going to do, and if you didn't see part one, I'm going to basically do the same thing. The only thing I'm going to do a little bit differently is I'm going to actually take a stab, because I just want to, I'm going to do everything inexpensively, but at some point, I do need to make money as well. I'm going to try and do some of these as offer ups. If you watched my channels before, I don't do offer ups. We did them on Scott's channel, and I've done them on a couple other people's channels, getting a little bit more comfortable with them. I still don't think I'm going to run them as a rule, but in this case, I'm going to be starting these things out at like $5 or something really low and just seeing what there is. So we'll see how many people are here tonight. Maybe you can get a really good deal, but I'm going to be finding the items. I'm going to be opening them up. I'm probably not going to remember what I listed them for on eBay or even what I paid for them. So a lot of this is just going to be winging it. So that's why I figure if I just start it low, if people are interested in it, the price will the market will determine its price. If no one's interested, you want to buy it for $5, you get it for $5. Some of them I might put a little bit higher price because I can list on eBay. I do have another place to sell this stuff. It's just, again, some of these boxes have not been opened in at least months, if not longer. So if I'm going to do something with them, if it's something like, oh yeah, I can sell this on eBay. And I don't mind taking the pictures and doing all the other things. Like for people that don't do reselling, those of us who do it, we pride ourselves to be like, oh, you make it looks so easy. Looks is the operative word in that sentence. So when people start doing it, sometimes there's a lot of work. So I'm going to start, and everything, this is the way, and I still do this to this day. Everything that I sell gets wrapped up. I measure it. I take photographs. I weigh it, or I wrap it up. I weigh it. I then log it. So somewhere I do have a notebook that actually tells me exactly what MP478 is. I don't have that notebook with me. I didn't bother to pull it out because it's all a mix. So this is, but I do remember MP is a miniature plate. I did have some rhyme or reason. So that means this is going to be a coaster. Oh, there's Scott. Hey, Scott. And Vinny's here too. So we are going to start with what I kind of built my channel on this. I had no idea. I'm going to try and keep this away from the microphone so it doesn't get loud. I had no idea how few people use coasters, and how weird I was for having 24 coasters in a house that I live in by myself. But coasters are fun. Coasters are practical. And if you have wood furniture, you should have coasters as well. So this is not a coaster. So it was MP. So just a miniature plate. But I do remember this. I do remember buying this. And I do remember exactly where I bought this. This came from Vienna, Austria. This was the last trip that I took before the pandemic. My daughter was doing her study abroad in Germany. I flew to Vienna, Austria, and she met me there for Christmas and New Year's. And we went to a flea market in Vienna, and I picked this up. It's a petal-shaped dish. You can see there are flowers painted on it. It is back stamped as European porcelains, Rosenthal. Had great intentions of actually doing a Rosenthal video talking about Rosenthal. Never got around to doing it. And of course, I don't remember all of my back stamps. So this one does say Germany. It's got the 2 dots. This is probably from the 60s, if I remember correctly, maybe getting in the 70s. But it's in perfect condition. For those who might be a little new, I still don't sell anything with damage, or if I do, I make sure it's very clear that I pointed out. So I probably would have had this listed on Etsy for $15 to $20. I'm going to sell it here for $5. If anyone wants it for $5, go ahead and claim it for $5. And then it is going to be an offer up. And so I'm going to say start, and I'm going to try and do this on my own. And we will see how it goes. So I'm going to put start in there for $5. If anyone wants it for $5, claim it for $5, and then you do increases from there. But again, perfect condition, petal shape. I think you could buy these in multiples, and then you would have these as little nut dishes or candy dishes that you could actually put in the table. You could do a full flower on those. Okay, so Robert back in the day is starting at $5. So thank you so much for claiming it at $5. I'm going to be really quick because I want to get through as many things as I can tonight without being on here forever. So I'm going to go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to watch for my closer. And we're going to stop. So we got Robert back in the day. Back in the Day Finds is taking the Rosenthal dish for $5. So thank you very much. All right. The next one, and this was one I have to admit, I don't remember this one at all because there's kind of two things that are unique about it. It has a JY code, which means it's jewelry, but for some reason I wrapped it in bubble wrap. I don't remember this. So we're going to open this one up, see what happens. So I got Dawn has joined us. Hey, Dawn. And I think said hi to Vinny already. So we've got the East Coast representing. So let's see, what do we got here? We're opening it up. Oh, I think I recognize this. So this is an East European brooch. Not necessarily Russian, although the writing on the back, if I remember correctly, was Cyrillic. So we've got a lacquer brooch, a floral design, got black. This will also start at $5. So if anyone wants it at 5, I guess I don't need to really type start. I'll just say it's $5. So $5. It is in great condition. The way these were made, these are probably from the 80s to the 90s. It's taking a safety pin and kind of embedding it into the lacquer when it was still like its wet form or raw material form, and then it kind of formed around it. But you can see, so Heather Elizabeth is starting in at $5. So you can see the alphabet there, and I do believe that is Cyrillic. I used to be able to read it. Let's see if I can figure out what it says. It's been a long time, but sometimes of Cyrillic, if I phonetically figure it out, it kind of tells us what it is. METARA. Matera. Nope. No clue. So anyway, so we got Heather Elizabeth $5. If we got any advance on that, counting it down, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forgot to do a little countdown that Scott taught me, and we will do the stop on that. And that'll go to Heather Elizabeth for $5. So thank you, Heather Elizabeth, for picking that up. I think I've had that for a while. I can't remember where I would have gotten that, but I did have that for a while. So I'm glad that is going to a good home. And I love those lacquer brooches. All right. Let's see. I tried to just take a couple of boxes and mix them together and see what I get. All right. This one has TC is the initials, which, if I remember correctly, that was teacup. But there is no way this is a teacup. I can tell that right now with the weight. So I think it's a mug. So let's see. So we've got a mug. All right. So this one I'm going to start at $3. Of course, as is my normal, I pick the absolute weeks too late for things like this. But this will start at $3. It is a teacher mug. So you got for my teacher from one of your little monsters. And you've got the little chalkboard in the back. And so this one does have, it must have been a reason I bought it. It's a shoebox greetings. And it's actually from 1986. So it is made in Japan. So it does have a little bit of age to it, but it is just a mug, but it's in perfect condition. No chips, no cracks. So if you've got any teachers in your life, you can get this for $3 for my teacher from one of your little monsters. So that is a $3 purchase if anyone would be interested in that. The next thing, okay, I want to make sure that everything I've got here, once upon a time, I was willing to ship them, but also I was buying things that, I shipped dozens of champagne flutes. What was I thinking? Why was I starting my business shipping champagne flutes? So I did change some of my buying practices along the way. So this is bigger, but still relatively small, so it should be able to ship fairly easily. And I apologize for the ruffling sound as I open this up. So yeah, Heather Elizabeth just did a long trip as well. It would have been great. We were hoping we could meet each other, but she was traveling in my area while I was in Scott's area. So we unfortunately never got a chance to cross paths, but maybe someday. All right. Oh, we got 2 pieces. No memory what this is. Ooh, we got a lid. No, we don't have a lid. We've got a bowl. So we've got a Nippon bowl. And looks like I've got the underplate. So I've got the Nippon underplate and the Nippon bowl. And I do not have, hold that moment. I found this loose and I set it aside. I do actually have a ladle, but this is not the ladle that matches. So I'm going to hold on to this just in case there's another set when I open later. So this one, because this has a floral design, so this is $5. So if you want it for $5, then we'll do an advancement on that. But you've got the hand painted flowers in 3 areas on the underplate, and then the Nippon back stamp as well. Actually, does it say Nippon? Let me pull out my cheaters here. I'm assuming. Made in Nippon. So Scott just had one of these actually in the sale he did this past week, and gave a nice little primer on Nippon. The use of the word Nippon changed in 1921 when the laws changed. So this is pre-1921. So $5 for the 2 pieces of the sauce bowl, the bowl with its underplate. We've got Robert from Back in the Day Finds is picking that up for $5. If you've got any advancements on that, we're going to start counting it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to finish that out. Make sure you know advancements from Robert, and that is going to Robert for $5. All right. Thank you so much, Robert, for picking that up. Got to make my little notes here. All right. So I'll add that to you. You're getting the porcelain purchases today. There's going to be a lot of porcelain today. All right. What do we got? Small. All right. We've got NP, which means I actually struggled with this one the last time. I could not remember what MP stood for. Nippon. It is Nippon. So I just randomly grabbed this. We've got another piece of Nippon. So we shall see what we've got here. This is, why do I have this marked Nippon? Because it is actually stamped Nippon. So it does have the stamp on the back, but it actually has a look of a German painted plate. Hey, enjoy packing your stuff, Scott. No worries. I am great background noise. So we've got a great German, I want to say German because that's what it kind of looks like, but a hand painted decorative plate. We'll start this as $3. So we'll start this one at $3. It does have the Nippon stamp on the back. So again, it's past pre-1921, past testing my memory here, 1892, I believe, was when the first law McKinley Tariff Act kicked in. So that is in between those 2 times before we had to start making them, mark them as Japan. So the hand decorated Nippon plate for $3, that is available. And let's see, next item. Okay, this one, again, I can kind of tell as I packed them, when I first started, I paid less attention to how I was packing them. It looks like Robert wants to add to his porcelain collection for $3. So we'll do a quick countdown on this one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Watch for the stop. And then that will go to Robert for the $3. So thank you, Robert, for adding that to your collection. I'm going to make a note that that's only 3. And appreciate you giving it a home. All right, so this next one is marked with a K, which means it was part of the kitchen collection. I had quite a bit of stuff that was for kitchen because I go to Goodwill, I go to estate sales. That's just a lot of things for kitchen, like vintage kitchen items. This appears to be, when I put them in a bag, it means there's more than one piece. But I I can't tell by the feel of this. I can't tell what this is. So, and it's wrapped in paper, which I stopped doing that actually fairly early on. So this has been around for a while. And what would happen is, ooh, I remember these. I actually wondered where these went. What would happen is I put them on Etsy, and because you got charged every time it renewed, after a while I would stop renewing it. But then the stuff was already packed away because I kind of started talking about that. So I would take the pictures, wrap it up, weigh it, then I do the listing. Well, then when it got weighed, that's why all these things have marks. So I have, this one's MP. I had a box of Rubbermaid that was all MP. So that's where it would go. So when I got a sale, it would come back and say, okay, you made a sale for MP 503. I would just go to the box, I'd find MP 503, and all I had to do was put it into a box and ship it. It was super simple. But if I stopped listing it, like if I turned off the listing, that meant these items got buried in the boxes and kind of forgotten. And this is one of them. So these are actually really cool. I'm going to tell you right now, got to remember how many I've got. I'm going to show you. They are mid-century modern lowball glasses. And they are super, super cool because they are a chemical company that is doing these. So since 1898, you've got the building on the side. I'm going to remember how many of these I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'll still start them at $5. I thought I had a full set of 6, but there's only 4 of them. So there's no chips, no cracks. Set of 4 for $5. They have they're all gold and black. Check out that kind of chemical. It looks like a tree, but it's kind of like I don't even know if it is a tree or if it's like a chemical branch compound or something like that. So Carol's opening it up at $5. You've got the building on there. You've got a barn on the back. So I think it's like an agricultural chemical. And you've got the little farmer / chemist. Sorry, the glare. It's like trying to figure out how to show this without the glare. And then this great black and gold. You got the chemist. You've got some sort of science. And then that thing at the bottom. And I want to say I did identify these when I initially listed them, but I don't remember. I don't remember what they are because I think it's that logo at the very bottom, I think, is the name of the company. So I do have 4 of them. I'll open up the other ones. It's partially open already, just to kind of show you. They're all the same. And so we've got Carol, yep, and thanks, Vinny. Yeah, they're great. Lowball, mid-century modern, probably late, probably in the 60s, but great Mad Men advertising, pieces. So we're at $5. We're going to count it down. So any advancements on $5? We got Carol's taking it at 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we will do a stop, which will then count down to Carol Bloom getting those for $5. So thanks so much, Carol, for picking those up. That'll make a nice, that's a nice big pile that I get to get rid of all at one time. So I appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. All right, got another piece wrapped in paper. No, this one didn't even have a code. This one just had 93. So this has been around a really long time because this was before I realized I couldn't just keep putting things in numerically because I got to a point where then I couldn't find them. I just suddenly had this box with items marked 1 through 50, and I started digging through, and they were all different sizes and shapes. So this is a Celadon green coffee pot with lid. So the lid I taped it on so I didn't lose it. Nice deep lid, so it's not gonna fall off. A nice deep throat. So again, this is going to be $5. Start. It is not marked in any way. You can see on the bottom, it's got the opening for where it would have been setting on there, so the glaze did not run into it. So we got back in the day fines Robert at 5 for the teapot. You can see there is a design on the front of it. There's kind of like a flying crane design with then like clouds, I guess, or maybe a lake. No, I guess it's a tree underneath, but it's super subtle because it's all that green on green. So I see Alicia tried to come in at 5, but I see Robert before Alicia. So Alicia, if you'd like it, you would have to go to 6. And it's a beautiful shade of green. It's a super like, and Alicia's at 7. It's a super like silky color. Like it's still a glossy finish. You can see it's the reflections coming off of the light. So it's not like it's a matte finish, but it's got a different feel than some of the other porcelain that I was showing. It's just kind of a neat, and it's a super sexy handle. Like it's just super tall. It's just a great form. I really liked this piece. Like I said, it was one of the first things I picked up. But what I discovered is if you didn't have a brand or you didn't have like the magic keyword on Etsy, people just never would find your stuff. And so I probably had it up for like 25, $35, like a reasonable price. But unless you specifically were typing like Celadon coffee pot, like you wouldn't necessarily have found it. So I've got Alicia at 7, and we're going to count this down at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are going to do the stop. We can do this. There we go. And it looks like Alicia. Looks like back in the day snuck in right at the last minute and got it at 10. Let me refresh really quick. I want to make sure we're doing it right. And if anyone disagrees, but what I am seeing, I am seeing Robert from back in the day finds at 10, snuck in at the last minute right before the stop. So thank you so much, Robert. For $10, I will add that to your porcelain collection. Sorry, Alicia. All right. Next, let's see. This is not wrapped. What is this? Oh, I remember these. I thought this was cute. So this is, you can see sticker went right on there. This was like a new old stock box of, it would have been like a gift set. I think it even says that on here. Glass Craft Studios, the social set. So this will start at $5. So you got this. So this would have been a little gift you got with the coasters. It has the 4 little like nut cups in it, and then larger napkins. So those are paper napkins, paper coasters, and then the little glass snack cups. So it is like its own little hostess gift. So and back in the day, it's probably 50s or 60s, you would have, picked this up at the store and taken this, and this would have literally been your hostess gift. And I've got it kind of upside down, or the napkins are in there upside down. It's just this cool little bird cage, I guess, with the vines going through it. We got Chad opening that up at $5, and all the glass in great condition. The set of coasters, I mean, it still has the ribbon around it. So like this is an actual ribbon that I don't think this has ever been opened. It's just a great little piece. And Chad's got it at $5. Hey, Angela. Hey, KP. So this is $5. Advancements on that. We're going to start doing the countdown for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we will watch for the stop. And this will go to, looks like the last person is Chad for $5. So thanks, Chad, for picking up the hostess set. All right. Let's see. This one's wrapped in a bag. So there's another multiple pieces. So this is a K. So we got something else for the kitchen. We'll open this one up. And so I got Angela here. It reminds me of thinking, and Vinny's in here as well. There's a couple things that are going to be coming up later this month. Angela, for the first time, is joining the shop hop, the drop sale shop hop, with that Beth and I host. Beth from Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties. This time, June is my month to host, and I'm adding Angela into the mix. That will be Thursday, June 15th. So watch for posts to get, it'll be 8 of us that are participating, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, starting with Beth's channel. I will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, just like normal. and it runs until Angela is the last one of the evening. She is at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and she will be the 8th. And Vinny is in there, Dee from Thrill of the Thrift, Cat Young Creates is in there. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm trying to like Mimi's Treasure Cottage is in there. So I think that's all 8. So be sure to catch that. So that'll be a pre-recorded sale because I will be on the road when that one happens. And next week, that's running the banner that's running at the bottom of the screen, I'm doing my first Whatnot sale. I'm a little bit scared. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I've been watching other Whatnot sales and realized they run the gamut of good to horrid. So I'm trying to fall into the good category. So that'll be next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Whatnot. And I'm Trusty Huckster over there. Trusty Huckster Mercantile was too long. So Trusty Huckster on that one. And that is what I'm going to do on my Whatnot's channel is going to just be the paper. So if you don't like paper, I'd still love you to come over and help support me. But if you don't like paper, don't worry about it. But that is where I'm going to do a lot of that. So, okay. So this is what I just opened in the bag. This is a set of 4 of these clam shells. So they are going to start at $5 for the set of 4. They are, I do not remember there, Royal Worcester. So this is the Worcester Herbs pattern. So for $5, there's a set of 4 of these. And I do not remember, so I'm going to open these up. This one is the peppermint. I don't remember if they're all 4 peppermint or if there's a mix. So let me open up the others. They're all going to be in perfect condition. Yeah, Kara. Hi, Kara, first of all. Kitschy Corner. I don't disagree with you. I will say that I like the structure of Whatnot a little bit better. I struggle with Instagram sales, particularly when people are doing joint Instagram sales. The screen is so small, I just can't see anything. So at least with Whatnot, it's structured and pretty consistent that you're only looking at the goods, not the people. So it looks like it's a full set of just the peppermint. So I think there were other patterns to these, but this is a set of 4 of the peppermint dishes. So those are starting out at 5 Royal Worcester herbs. If I remember right, there's actually a market for those. So if they don't sell here, I'll probably go ahead and list those on. Sorry, I'm making a lot of noise. I will list those on eBay because it's a set and people do like sets. So set of 4. So I will set those aside. So let's see, Vinny's saying the only thing I don't like about Whatnot is a portrait mode and the fact that the app drains your battery if you're watching on your device. No, that's true. You can watch Whatnot online. I have to kind of figure out there's a way to do it like in practice mode, and I'm going to have to do that before next Thursday. That I think you can have your computer set up and you can have your phone set up, so I can put my phone in a mount so that I'm not trying. Like I was watching a sale just last night, and he was like typing things into his phone to make the listings while we were watching. So you would hear that super loud clicking sound because he had the sound on, and so KP watches online. And I'm kind of like that. But if you don't have a computer, it's nice that you can do it all. But it was very distracting. So every once in a while, we saw his finger like go into the camera. It was a weird experience. But I'm trying to watch, particularly the paper people, watch what they're doing. Again, if you watch my channel, I don't have like junk drawer paper. Like I curate what I sell. So I've watched where, they're selling individual pieces for 10 and $20 and they're selling, here's a stack of stuff that weighs a pound and here, let's sell this. So I'm going to be like in between. I'm going to start my Thursday sale. I'm going to start with a theme. So it's always going to be paper, but I'm going to start Thursday, $3 Thursdays. So everything I have is going to have a starting price of $3. Figure it's inexpensive, so I'm just trying to figure out what I can make out for the $3. And, in some cases, some of the stuff will have cost me $2 to $3, so it's like if they don't sell, I could actually lose some money. But I'm hoping like on balance, it'll be like there's going to be an opportunity to make some money there. And it's just something different. I do like with my pre-recorded sales, I do $5 ephemera sales. And those have had a mixed audience. Like they get pretty good views and I usually do some good sales out of them. But if everything's $5, like, again, I'm not going to make a ton of money doing it, but ephemera is super simple to ship. And that is the benefit to that. So I figure if I maybe shift the paper onto Whatnot, then as I'm doing stuff on YouTube, maybe that goes into some of the more unique things. Who knows? So we shall see. Let's see. What do I want to grab next? I got something really small that's marked with a K. Kara's asking if I have a booth, and I do have a booth. I'm now in my first, second, third, fourth booth. I've yet to find third time's a charm did not work for me. So I'm in my fourth. I will say that, knock wood, the fourth one that I've got right now, thanks, Vinny, for the thumbs up request. The one that I'm doing right now is probably the most successful out of the four, because I keep just changing my business model a little bit. This is the first time in a traditional antique mall. It's an older mall. They don't really do a lot in social media. So there's a couple of things I'm frustrated with on that. I'm doing okay. Again, knock wood, at least I'm covering my rent, which that has not always been the case for some of the other locations. And the rent is actually reasonable. The third location I was in, my rent was over $400 a month. So I had to sell a lot of salt and pepper shakers to cover a $400 rent. My rent here is only $60 a month. And so the threshold's a little bit smaller. All right. So I opened up the K. Oh, it's a toothpick holder, a little porcelain toothpick holder. So we're going to start this at $3. It has the gilded feet. And Angela's asking where I'm at. I'm in the Geneva Antique Market, and they've been there for 34 years. So it's been around for a long time, but it's in the basement level. And the problem is they put a sign outside, and there's another antique, kind of an antique store that's on the main level. So what we discovered is people see the sign like, oh, look, there's antiques in here. And then they go in, they find that store, and they don't realize that there's an entire lower level that's all antiques. Like it's 10 times the size of this other place. So we got to do a little bit better with the marketing. So there is a label on this. I don't remember if it was ever legible. Looks like, let me pull up my loop. Can I figure out what this label said? So this is $3. It is upside down, I think. I believe it's a Nesco. So it's an Enesco egg toothpick holder. It's got the gold at the top. It's got the gold at the feet. $3 if you would like to claim that. That would be nice and lightweight to ship. Yeah, let me know if you go out there, Angela. I'm only a couple miles away. So if you're actually going, I can meet you over there. All right, another piece wrapped in paper, which means this has been here for a while, because I learned very early on, particularly with some of this porcelain that I was doing, not to wrap in paper. So this has been in there for a long time, because I ended up investing in rolls of newsprint so that the ink from the newspaper doesn't transfer onto the porcelain. It's called the Berry House. So it's a 1880s house that's been converted. There's restaurants on the second level, there's shops on the main level, and then we're on the basement level. It's on the corner of Franklin and 3rd Street. So kind of like that walking, it's a very cute downtown area. It's probably one of the better locations that I've been in the sense it's like foot traffic and people like that type of atmosphere. It's just, they're kind of riding their reputation right now, which I think is a mistake. I think they need to do some advertising and get fresh people in here. Okay, this is a little man. So we're going to start him at $5. It is a decorative porcelain marked Japan. So there is an actual stamp on there marked Japan. And it is just a little, he's fairly tall. So I say he is a man. But he's got a very boyish face, carrying a milk pail and a, picnic basket of eggs. Not sure what that is. And yes, to Angela, it is a white building. I just wouldn't necessarily say it's a big white building. There's other big houses along there too. The Little Travelers also white, and they're much bigger, and they're on the other side of the street. But yeah, it's the Berry House is usually easy to find. So he would be $5. Anyone that wants to start with their own little man in knickers, add him to your collection so he can sit on your mantle and leer at you and watch and judge everything you do. So he is $5. Let's see. Let's go to something small. All right. Got another MP. So theoretically a small decorative plate, but we shall see what it actually is. Yeah, thanks, Vinny. Like I said, I had him for a long time. What I discovered is, as much as I grew up with that whole idea of the decorative porcelain figurines, that's not always to everyone's taste. And again, he's only marked Japan, so it's hard for anyone to really find him. So he'll probably go into my booth. I think he'll sell in the booth because he's got kind of a neat look, and he's tall. So you put him in the back of like a farmhouse vignette. He's carrying a milk pail. So you've got a way to do it. So this one does move into a traditional coaster motif. So we've got a little Dutch boy and Dutch girl. This is a Bach porcelain, Delft porcelain, blue and white, marked Delft. This again, I'm going to start. Well, I'll start this at $3. It's just a little plate. On the back has the back stamp, and it says something above the Bach. But what does it say? Something royal Bach. And then Delft's is in the blue underneath it. And I've actually had quite a bit of the Bach stuff. I used to have, very early on when I did my videos, there was a big charger that sat on my piano behind me, which was also for sale. I just was decorating with it for the longest time. And it was also Bach. I just like the blue and white. These were done in like the 40s, 50s. It was like more of a decorator motif that they made for this great blue and white design. So this is just a small dish, ring dish, coaster, if you will, individual plate. That would be $3 for the piece of Bach porcelain. All right. Looks like I've got another piece of jewelry. This one is wrapped in paper. So let me see what I've got on this one. And trying to see if I missed anybody coming in. This saying hi to anyone. If I did, I apologize. Said hi to Kara. Say hi to KP. So yeah, so the whatnot sale, we'll see. You know, I'm hoping it'll be a good sale. I have a lot of paper that I would like to sell, and I just don't really have a good way to do it. Heather Elizabeth and I did an ephemera sale, and I'd like to keep doing that, but it's hard to find someone who has the same quantity of ephemera that I do. So I will hopefully have another one. So here's another. It's actually another lacquer pin, totally by coincidence, but I like lacquer pins. So this is also going to start at $5. This one is like a dude on a red horse, it looks like, holding the soldier is like kind of a Mongolian look. Mulan, I'm not sure. The horse appears, I guess that's his cape. I don't think the horse has wings. It also should be, I think it has something on the back. This one is not signed on the back, but it does still have the pin kind of embedded into the lacquer. So, Angela, you said you did one sale on whatnot. Was it a good experience, bad experience? One of the things I discovered last night is, as I was watching one of the sales was relatively late, he only had like 2 or 3 people in the sale. And that's kind of a death knell because it is designed to be an offer up, idea. And from a buyer's perspective, he had some nice stuff, and I was able to get things for like $2. Yay. I would be very disappointed if I sold everything for $2. Yeah. So this would be $5, and I just lost my comments. And the Heather Elizabeth says she had a great time selling with us with me on the paper sale. So, and I hope Heather Elizabeth will do it again with me at some point. Maybe once she gets a collection of paper again to sell, because she had some really nice stuff to sell. It's just I literally have pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of paper, a lot of it that I picked up on this last sale, or this last trip. And it's not like, hey, empty out your junk drawer. Like, these are 19th century letters, and they've all been bagged and boarded individually. So it's like they're really nice pieces, and I want to try. So I'm going to start with that $3 threshold, that Thursday $3 thing. And just, have a mix. I'm going to have some books. I'm going to have some postcards. I'm going to have Victorian trade cards. I'm going to just see what kind of gets people's attention. And then see thank you, Bree. Like, that's the thing. I need to build up the following, because I have a following on Instagram. And a lot of those people do not then go to YouTube. Like I get the comments, like I promote on Instagram, my YouTube sales. They're like, well, what are you going to put on Instagram? I don't watch YouTube. And I've got YouTube followers that don't follow me on Instagram. I'm going to have whatnot people that don't do whatnot. So I've got to figure out like where this perfect, the perfect storm is. And that's exactly what I need to do. I just need to start doing some advertisements for it. And like, so KP's saying, stick to the live sales for Vinny. At some point you do need to figure out like, what are your strengths? And for me, what do you enjoy doing? Like if whatnot becomes successful, but it's a pain in the butt, I'm not going to do them, or I'm not going to do them as often. So it's trying to find that happy balance. And I know that there are, and so as KB is saying, she enjoys the individual live sales more than whatnot. It's like, so I think there is a slightly different audience for each. So I'm thinking that the paper, there is a pretty strong, like I was told by many people, oh, if you're going to sell paper, you should try it on whatnot. And I've been watching it enough that there are a lot of channels that they do specialize in ephemera. So it's kind of like, okay, if they're kind of building, and that is a category all by itself in whatnot, there's an ephemera and postcard category. That's a good sign, because if that's then what I dedicate myself to, and I just do paper over there, and I don't like confuse the market by them throwing in like porcelain figurines. If every time someone finds my channel and they realize I'm only selling paper and they like paper, hopefully they'll follow my channel. And like, there's all these tips about doing giveaways, trying to build that following. I'm going to give it a try, and I've got plenty of inventory to sell. And if it doesn't work there, I'll find something else. But we were talking about my booth. The problem with a booth in ephemera is you really can't trust paper to be in the booth. Like I'd have to board and bag everything, which is fine. I have some stuff board and bagged there. But I've noticed when I've gone, like people have opened up the bags, and I understand that. I understand if you're going to buy something, sometimes you want to like make sure, is it in really good condition? Like if it's a menu, you want to be able to open it up. I get that. But then sometimes they're not as careful when they put it back, and you'd like to trust the goodness in people. People suck. So it's just one of those cases that you can't always trust that. So my super valuable stuff, I considered getting a locked showcase just so it's protected. But then I've been in a locked showcase before, and I've seen people don't want to ask for it to be unlocked. They just they feel it's, oh, I just want to know how much it is. I don't want to bother anybody. I've done that, and I don't want to do that again. And hi, Denise. I didn't say hi to Denise. So Denise is saying she never visited Whatnot. Oh, but thank you. That would be lovely. And so Whatnot you can watch it online. I think it's designed to be done on your phone. I think it's trying to like market that, but there's no reason you can't do it on your computer so you can see a bigger picture. And it's there. But I will say I've even found it a little confusing. I was bidding on something last night in one of the sales. It was doing the countdown, and they do soft closes in their for those that don't know about Whatnot, they do soft closes in their sales. So like it's counting down 5, 4, 3, 2. If you bid right at 1, it resets the clock, I think, back to 5. So you can't really snipe as easily as you can in like some of the YouTube sales and some of the stuff that people get really frustrated by. It is what it is, but so they kind of have that kind of built in. So I was already down to the 1. I thought I was the winning bid. Somebody else came in to bid it. And the way it kind of tells you where you are, it's really small when it's on your phone. And I'm like, wait, am I no longer the leading bidder? And by the time I realized I wasn't, it had closed. Like that was just me being new. So it's just one of those things. Oh, okay. Oh, and I didn't realize that. So the giveaways only work via the phone. I will be running it on my phone. But I'm glad you said that. I wonder why that is. That's odd. But that's what I got to learn. And so I'm going to try it a few times and see if I can build it up. But so there were no takers on the pin. So I keep holding it. So I'm going to put that down. Let's see. Here's something round. What do I have? All right. This one is a complete guess because I had a batch of materials that were given to me by like a 20-year-old college student, and he wanted to do them on consignment. And it got to a point where it was just a hassle. So I just paid him for everything that I bought and then hoped I'd remake the money. But in the short time that he wanted to do it on consignment, things got marked as Luke. So this is one of Luke's items. I do not remember what Luke gave me. So it seems round. We shall see what Luke offered. And Vintage Vintage is saying Whatnot is great because payments go through right away. And I will say, so as I bought things, I was getting email notifications saying thank you for your purchase and you'll be paid. And then it's a requirement in Whatnot that the seller has to ship within 2 days. I don't know what happens if you don't ship within 2 days, but it's very, very clear that that is a requirement. And then Whatnot helps, like, does all the labels and everything. So it's like, again, from a business standpoint, I'm actually kind of encouraged. So we have Luke offered me a little ewer, a little miniature decorative pitcher. So it's a beautiful floral design. They will start this at $5. It does not look like, well, wait. It looks like a smudge, and then underneath it, it says Carlsbad, Austria. So we've got Austrian porcelain here. So this is turn of the century. The actual stamp, though, I don't know if that originally did say something. I do not collect Carlsbad, Austria. I collect the Stellmacher lines. So I'm not as familiar, but I know that Carlsbad was in the same era, so like 1890s to 1910. It's got the gold dust accents around the edges. It's kind of got the little ice lip, like you wouldn't have any ice in there, but it's got that little ice lip design. This would be starting at $5. So there's a setting, I think, to stop the clock from restarting. Oh, okay. Yes, so this is Austrian porcelain. If you look really, really carefully, you can barely make out the Carlsbad and then the Austria underneath. So this is a Michael Todd specialty of Austrian porcelain. I don't know if it's a brand, but this is a lot of what he collects. Mine look similar to this, but mine are the Stellmacher line. So that is $5 for the Carlsbad pitcher. All right. What do we got? A lot of MP stuff. Let's switch to something else. Oh, we got a BB. Which, if I remember correctly, this was a very, very small box that had like 2 things in it. I want to say this is baby. What was I doing buying stuff for babies? So let's see. I think if I remember right, I think this is a piggy bank. And I taped it really well because I can't get it open. So the benefit was, my original intention was I would wrap these things up well enough so that I went into storage. Again, when they sold, all I'd have to do is take it out and put it in a box. So these are all wrapped really well. And what I discovered is I was using up a lot of packing material for stuff that was sitting in storage. So, everything changes over time. Nope, no, we don't have a bank. We have a little baby planter. So it is a teddy bear planter. So let's see, we're going to start this at $5. And it is marked Parma by AAI, made in Japan. So it's got the paper foil label on it, Parma by AAI. I don't know what the AAI would have stood for. And then kind of the model, the mold number. So you've got a little teddy bear with a bow, and the bow appears to be the same color as the teddy bear. So it's just brown. So it's not pink, it's not blue. So we have a gender neutral planter for a baby's room or something decorative for a teddy bear. So we have $5 for him. And let's see. Let's go deeper in the box. Okay, we got something marked HD. So that means this is home decor. So I was very creative in my labeling. So HD, it feels like a small plate, but it's not a coaster. Oh, we've got 5 for the teddy bear. So Chad is in at 5 for the teddy bear. So we'll do a quick countdown for him. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is going to be a stop. And I messed up my stop. And that is going to go to Chad for $5. So thanks, Chad, for picking him up, giving him a home. All right. So this next piece, like I said, it's kind of flat. So it seems like it should be a plate. But the fact that I marked it as home decor means it's probably more than a coaster. but it's still small, so it's going to be easy to ship. Oh, it seems really flat. What is this? Oh, I remember this one. Okay, so I did these for a while, and these do sell better on online because there are people that collect that FF. It's Fjord something. So it is a Scandinavian design. It's a little like a cheese cutting board, but it's got the hole in it so you can hang it on the wall. So it would be a decorative piece. It has in Swedish, God did something. And it's just got a great little 60s, 70s motif. I did list a lot of these for a while, so that FF did stand for something, but it was very Scandinavian. It says right on there it's Norway. I just can't remember. It's not Fitz and Floyd. It's something in Norway, and they all had a very similar. So again, this is going to start at $5. That it's in perfect condition, no chips, no cracks, little cheese plate, and you can impress your friends and make up what that actually stands for. And it is. It's yeah. Thanks, Chad. It does. It just has cute colors. It's very much of its time. So that retro 60s, 70s motif. And Carol is starting that out at $5. So we've got, it's the folklore line, which if I remember correctly, they had a couple, the way those flowers were done, they had a couple different motifs. I think they had one that was even blue and white. So we're going to count this down with Carol at $5. We're going to count it down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to watch for the stop. And that's going to go to, looks like it's going to go to Carol for $5 for the, I wish I could remember what the FF stands for. Something Fjord, if I remember correctly, but I enjoy. And I hope you like that, Carol. Thanks for picking that up. All right. This started unwrapping while I was opening the other piece. So I don't know what this is. So I've got something wrapped in a bubble wrap. Well, we're going to figure this one out together because it's got an HD tag on the outside, but then this is what was inside, and that's not marked at all, which I don't know. That's actually odd. But it was unwrapped, so I'm not sure if this is part of a set. What do I have in the home decor bag? Ha! I have half of an egg. All right, so we're going to put that one on hold because the rest of that egg is somewhere in this box. So we'll see if I can come across it. Let's see. All right, this is not the egg. That bothers me. I don't know where the other egg, part of the egg is. I don't see it, obviously. So this one is BV, which was bottles and vases. Not looking much like a vase, though. Pretty squatty. So I don't know what this is going to be. Nope, feels like a vase. It's just a little vase. It's a little urn vase. So we've got the blue going on again. We've got these little cornflower blue florals painted onto. Now this looks like milk glass, but it is. It is porcelain because it is Wedgwood. So we've got a Wedgwood bone china starting at $5. So $5 for, it's a little large for a toothpick holder. Toothpicks would kind of get lost in there, but you could definitely use it as a toothpick holder. So Antique Agenda, Heather Elizabeth is asking about my copper luster. So there's still a couple pieces. Wait, on that side, this side. So you've still got a piece of copper luster right there. I think that's my sewer tile. What I have right behind me is I actually have a large toll painted, 19th century toll painted circular bin. And most of the copper luster is actually piled into that. And then I also have, I actually really like it. I should post some pictures, but I'm not going to try and spin this around. I actually have an apothecary scale on cabinet in my kitchen, and it's one of the style that has 2 flat surfaces on it. And then I've got actually my copper luster, 6 pieces of copper luster are actually sitting on that. So the Wedgwood urn with the cornflower blue florals on both sides, that'd be $5 if you would like to add that to your collection. See, it's like still motivated to find the rest of that egg. All right, so here's another HD. So the copper luster slowly was getting replaced and trumped by some of the 19th century tollware. I like them both. And I still have some pewter, so I still got a piece of pewter. Yeah, I can do this. There it is. So I've got pewter. So I got the old pewter plate that Nate wants from me that I got from from Antique Nomad. Do you have any green gold Bohemian glass? I do not. What I have is purple Bohemian glass, and that is actually on display, but it is going to be for sale. Just not part of the description here. But I don't think I've really I don't think I have any of the green Bohemian. So this is a porcelain. So this is in the HD category. This is a painted porcelain vase. It is not marked on the bottom. However, I think when I did research on this, I want to say, I'm not going to swear to it, but I want to say this was one of those Franklin Mint pieces. I had a couple. This is a little large though, so this may not have been part of that collection. I just really like the shape of it. So it's $5. If you want to start it at $5. It's got some great colors on there: the red, the black. It's just not marked because I think the Franklin Mint did them with stickers. And then the way it's designed, as I understand, that you would have hung this with those 4 holes. You would have threaded rope through that, and you would have actually hung it. But for the display purposes, it does sit flat. So that's a pretty piece. That would actually probably go well in my booth. So that'd be $5. All right, let's see what I've got for paper. Newspaper. Oh, this was something. Okay, this was one of those educational tools. This was literally one of the first things that I bought. Still wrapped in newspapers. That's how I can kind of age some of this stuff. And when I bought it, I was unaware of what it was. I just thought it was a cool standalone piece. So I'll start the first part. Can you guess what this is going to be? That's the top. And then it's a 2-piece set. And also wrapped in paper is the bottom. It is a bowl that has a fake molded fruit top. What I was unaware of is this is the centerpiece to a Lazy Susan. So this would have had those wedge-shaped pieces going around it, either in like a spinning Lazy Susan or just as a decorative piece, and maybe in a tray. So this is $5. So it's California pottery. I don't remember if it's stamped. It is Van Nuys, California, is what it says. Lane and Company is the name on here, which admittedly, even since I bought this, is not a name that I've come across a lot. You can see Lane and Company. So yeah, Robert back in the days is picking this starting at $5. So it says Van Nuys, California. So I picked it up because I knew that California pottery was popular, and it is a cool standalone piece. There's nothing wrong with the fact that it is just it's got the basket weave, or kind of a basket weave base to it. If you don't have the other pieces, this can still stand alone just as a cool covered dish. But then when I realized it was actually part of a Lazy Susan, I'm like, well, technically I don't have a complete set. So I think I let this one expire and never renewed it. But it's a perfectly great piece, and for $5, absolutely. So we'll go ahead and count this down. We got Robert in the lead, opening that up for $5 back in the day fines. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we will do the stop will come through, and I've got a little bit more of a lag again. And that is then $5 going to back in the day fines for the California pottery. And that opens up some space in some of the Rubbermaids. Awesome. Oh, we've been doing this for over an hour. I wasn't sure how long I was going to do this one. So I was trying to crank through as much as I could. Let's see. Oh, I got an F. All right. F, if I remember correctly, was figurine. So my last figurine didn't sell, but this is smaller. So we'll see. Some of these, hopefully, are gonna be, they should be animal figurines. So let me see what we got. So this was an F. It's small. How dare you eat dinner, Vinny? Have anything good? I just realized I didn't have dinner before I started. Oh, we got an owl. I don't know if Tippy Wings was still here. So we've got a bisque owl. So it has like more of the matte finish as opposed to the super shiny finish. It does have a label. This will start at $5. This does have something on the bottom. It has a foil label of Inarco, Japan. So you've got the black and gold Inarco, Japan. Oh, Vinny's doing the starches. Mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. So $5 to start out with the little owl figurine from Inarco. We've got that as an F. This popped out when I pulled out the owl. So this is we're testing my knowledge of stuff that I haven't touched in a long time. So we've got actually, I'm seeing a ring of fire. I'm seeing the translucency around the edges, but I do not think this is an old. All right, who are my glass experts? We've got the WG interlocking logo for Westmoreland glass, but I don't remember what years that logo was used. It is just a little open, small bowl. There is no like lip or anything, so this would not have had. I do think it's Westmoreland, Vinny. If I would have looked this up at the time I listed it. It's that interlocking the W and the G. Trying to show it. Yeah, hopefully you can see that pretty well. That I think that is the logo for Westmoreland glass. I just don't know what era that one was used, because I would say looking at this, it's heavier. I would have put this in the 60s. But if I hold it up, it's actually translucent and does kind of have the opalescence in the edges. But I still want to say that this is later. So this will only be $3. So $3 for the little Westmoreland milk glass bowl. And let's see what else. We got something wrapped up here. Got another K. So let's see. What do I have? What's the kitchen? I think this is a bottle. Oh, yes. This is all right. I know. So, Vinny, I'm in your backyard. We've got Mack Trucks did a bottle with. So it's the Mack Trucks 1975 limited edition. It'll be $5 for anyone who wants this. $5 for the Mack Trucks first issue limited edition commemorative bottle. That was something around here is the brand. Oh, Wild Turkey. So it's a commemorative bottle of Mack Trucks with a history of 1911, their fire truck. Got the Mack Truck Bulldog. 1916, the Mack Model AC Bulldog. 1913, the Mack 2-ton junior model. And you've got the little Mack Truck Bulldog logo at the top of each of them. At the top, it says it's part of the built like a Mack truck. It's part of the language. And then you still have the label on the top. There is no alcohol in here. 8-year-old Wild Turkey from Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. So that is starting out at $5 for the Mack Truck Wild Turkey bottle. Get that out of the way so I don't knock it over. Okay, the egg is still missing. All right, got something else small that's also in paper. Okay, this one I changed labeling on it a couple of times. All right, so the Westmoreland Mark. Thank you, Nanny Food, for the Westmoreland Mark. It's 1940 to 1980. Okay, I thought it was. It seemed like a heavier piece. It seemed later. So I would say that's probably from the 60s. This is also only half of a piece. I have the top of a canister. You know what? I think the canister broke. That was why. So I just had the top. So $3 if you would like the top of this. Basically, it's like just a little decorative piece. You can find a bottle or a jar, like a mason jar that has about that diameter. You could make it a top to something. $3. That's probably something I'll need to go to Goodwill, because it's just a lid at this point. But it's a cute lid if you like cows. So that would be $3. Oh, hey, Val. Thanks for joining. All right. Oh, wait. I've got something marked DG. That means it was something that has a dog on it. I don't know if Dawn is still here. But I do the fundraiser every fall for the dachshunds. And so I always look for dog stuff. This is a little bisque beagle. So he'll be $5 to start. So we've got the foil label, New Orleans, Japan. Got the little foil label on it. It looks like he's got glass eyes, but it's just he himself is a bisque, but the eyes were painted with a little bit more of a gloss paint. So you can see that they're reflecting the light a little bit better than the rest. Cute little nose, smaller piece, hand size, probably like 4 inches, 5 inches tall. So he would be $5 to start with the Beagle figurine from New Orleans. Let's see. Another K. All right, we got Val is starting us off for the Beagle. So $5 for the Beagle from Val M. We got any advancements on that? We'll do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now watch for my lag, and then I will do the countdown, and we are going to stop with Val M for $5 for the Beagle. Thank you so much, Val, for picking up and giving the Beagle a home. All right, so this next piece is from the K collection. It's also old. It's still wrapped in paper, so it's nothing else. I'm fixing the fact some of the stuff's wrapped wrong. Oh, this one I remember. I loved this piece, and it's actually one of the first things I ever bought that I went against my better judgment. If you've watched my channel for any period of time, I've actually created quite some controversy because I don't like selling anything with damage. There is nothing wrong with selling items with damage. Nothing wrong whatsoever, as long as it's priced accordingly. And so where I've been a little vocal is when people are trying to sell damaged items for the same price that a perfect item would sell for. That's where I don't like that. So I just kept things simple. I never cared anything with any damage. But this was so sexy and has such great lines to it. We're going to start this at $5, but it does have the little bit of damage. It actually has this tiny little chip down at the bottom. So this falls in that category, which is totally common. We'll just turn it to the wall. You absolutely can do that. And it's so low down, no one is going to see it. But it is gorgeous, gorgeous lines. It is marked on the bottom. And the fact that it has damage is going to hold its price down. But that's why I'm starting at $5. So it's made in Austria. And I want to say once upon a time, I did know who did this because they did an entire line that was like this. We've got Carol starting us out at $5. It's kind of, how to compare it. So it's like a gray, but it's like a brownish gray. So it's like a grayish. If you hold it against black, you can kind of see it's not brown. It's not like a true blue gray. It's kind of like a brownish gray. And then you've got these lines in it that are kind of like this drip glaze kind of going down the edges. They did an entire series or entire collection that was like this, and just this bulbous shape with this cool, sexy handle on it. I absolutely loved it. And so we're picking up for $5. So Carol has got it in at 5. We're going to go and do the countdown for this piece, made in Austria piece. So the stamp just says made in Austria. So probably like 50s or 60s, just a super sexy piece. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll watch for that to come across. And the finished product, get the stop, goes to Carol Bloom for $5 for the Austrian picture. I'm so glad you're giving this a home, Carol. I really liked this piece. It just didn't match my decor, and it always bothered me that it was damaged. So it's just one of those cases that I wanted to sell it, but I also kind of felt guilty selling it because I kept making a big deal about not selling things that are damaged. So totally disclosed, and you're getting a great deal for $5. I think you're really going to like that. I can figure out how to set it down without tipping over. Okay. Let's see. Need to free up some space here so I don't knock these things over. Hey, I'm a curvy guy, Heather Elizabeth. I can admire curves. So yes, curves are sexy, and anyone who says otherwise is not paying attention. Let's see. Let's go back to this one. So we got something small, another MPP. So this should be like either a coaster or a small plate or something decorative. Let's see. Ooh, we might have a set of something. It seems a little thicker. And I'm not kidding when I say I don't know what some of this stuff is. Like I literally just don't remember until I open it up. The only thing I think I've shown tonight that I don't remember buying is that lacquer pin with the soldier on it. I have no idea where that came from. I have literally no recollection of buying that. Okay. No, it is not a stack. It is a decorative dish, pin dish. It is marked on the back. It is also Wedgwood. So this is going to start at $5. So this is Wedgwood bone china, made in England. It's got a beautiful scalloped edge with the gold accents, with a beautiful floral pattern, with a little bird in the middle, 2 birds in the middle. And you can see there's a little bit of depth to it. So it's not quite a coaster. It's really more of a dish of some sort. I guess you could use it as a coaster, but it would really be designed to hold pins or something small. So this would be $5 start for your own piece of Wedgwood. Wedgwood did do things other than Jasperware. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Perfect condition. The gold is even in perfect condition all the way around. So that would be $5 to start. Let's see. Still hoping to find the rest of that egg. It's got to be around here somewhere. Certainly wouldn't have sold the top of the egg. Let's see. This one is another BV. So we've got a small bottle in this one. I triggered my Alexa somehow. Let's see. Does not feel like a bottle. Might feel like a vase. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is a small Japanese vase with my favorite birds on them, quails. For some reason, quails remind me of me. Short, pudgy, and cute. They're kind of hanging out underneath these very beautifully gold accented floral. This would be $5. It has the OMC logo, the Otagiri. I want to say OMC was Otagiri something company. Wow, it's been so long since I've looked at this stuff. OMC. I want to say it's Otagiri. But anyway, it's got the gold foil label for Otagiri. It'd be $5 to start with this one. And it is decorated on the front with the gold on the top, not on the back. So this is kind of a one-sided piece. But I do have an affinity for quails. My daughter is about to steal my Fiesta ware. It is the Fiesta. So Chad's starting us out at $5 for the cute quails. She is stealing all my Fiesta ware, which I'm giving her permission to do so. That is actually her mother and my wedding china from 1993, and lasted longer than the marriage. But anyway, so she is taking that for her new apartment. And so I've been slowly building up my replacement china. And what I'm replacing it with is the Red Wing Bob White quail pattern, which is like it'll be like the only mid-century modern thing I have in my house. But they're quails. And I just love the pieces. I love the shapes of the serving pieces. There's just some really cool stuff in there. So I just like quails. So for $5, we got Chad starting us out for 5. Any advancement on that, we're going to count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are going to watch for the countdown there. And we're going to put in the stop so that we have clarity that Chad is getting that for $5. Congratulations, Chad. I hope you give the quails a good home or resell them on your own. You're totally welcome to do so, because a lot of these things I'm selling at a price. I have absolutely no problem. If you're a reseller, make money off of my clearance, because I've had my chance and I totally encourage you to make money. Just like I was telling you at the very beginning, I gave away literally bags of books. Someone will probably be very happy because my books were in pristine condition, but they just weren't particularly valuable. So I didn't want to try and resell them for like $3. Let's see. A couple more F's. Let's see what else we got. We got another dog. So we got a DG. Oh, thanks, KP. Yeah, I don't normally do things this quickly, and this is literally the first time I've done my own offer up. So, and doing it this fast. One of the reasons I don't like offer ups is because they kind of get boring. If you're not interested in what I'm selling, you're just kind of like watching like two people bid it out or whatever. So as long as I keep it fast, keep it interesting. So Scott helped me, learn a little bit more how he runs them. So I'm using Scott's excellent tutelage of how to make it go fast. So, all right. This is a lot of paper for something that's really small. And not even breakable. Oh, I liked him. I forgot I had him. All right, you know what? Sorry, everybody. I'm going to hold on to him because I'm going to, instead of selling for $5, I am going to hold on to him and include him in the fundraiser that I do for Just One More Dachshund Rescue. So if you're not familiar with my channel, every October, November-ish, I do a fundraiser for Dawn, who was in the chat earlier. She runs a rescue. Last count, she had something like 20 dachshunds, but she's rescued over 50 so far. And so this I would have picked up for that. All the dachshund stuff I bought goes to that fundraiser. And I don't know how he ended up in this box. That was a mistake. So he is a beautiful wooden carved doxy, and he will bring good money for the rescue. So that's a mistake that he even got put in there. So I apologize. Didn't mean to tempt you with that, but that needs to stick around for the fundraiser. Let's see, what's this little one? We got another DG. Let's see. Did I screw up again? I have a feeling I just started putting stuff in the boxes and I wasn't paying attention to what kind of breed they were. This is also relatively small. Yeah, KP, I've actually never owned a dachshund. It's just one of those cases. I used to work with Dawn in a previous job. I used to live in Maryland, and I met Dawn working for that company. And we've known each other for 15 years or more now. And I was part of her small journey. I was part of her getting her, I want to say her 4th and her 5th dogs, because I had to write a letter of reference to who she was getting them from or the rescue she was getting them from, and to show that, can she handle 5 dogs? And there was no question she was going to be able to handle them. And that was just the beginning. She went on to help many, many dogs. And I actually have been to her place, been to the sanctuary. There's so much, it's just so much fun seeing all the dogs together. All right. So this one was legitimately in there just for me to sell. I used to live a little bit farther from you, Vinny. I was in Southern Maryland. So my office was based in Prince Frederick, which most people confuse with Frederick. Prince Frederick is in Southern Maryland. And I actually lived in a town called La Plata. which is south of DC. But we both, Maryland's not that big of a state. So relatively speaking, yes, I used to be close to Vinny, but that was long before I was a reseller. Like I said, I've only been reselling since 2019. So this is a porcelain Scotty dog collection, kind of a black and white mixed color, $5 to start with him. He does have a stamp on the bottom. Let's see what it has. It says hand painted, made in occupied Japan. So we've got a very nice tight window of when things were marked as occupied Japan up to 1952. But it is just the mother Scotty dog and then two of the puppy Scotties. It's just an interesting coloration because like it's not really picking up very well on the camera. It's kind of hard to tell where one starts and the other stops. So I'm checking my thing. I am seeing that KP Gunther is at 6. And again, no chips, no cracks. Everything's in perfect condition. All the ears are totally smooth and everything. And he does have a gloss finish. So we are at $6 with KP, claiming the Scotty dog figurine made in occupied Japan. Val just came back in at 7. Again, he's only, I forgot to grab my ruler. He's literally only going to be like 3 inches tall, 3 inches tall, maybe like 4 or 5 inches across. KP jumps it up to $10 for the Scotty figurine. Thank you so much for giving the Scotty family a home. And this was something I know why I would have picked him up anyway because it's dogs and I like dogs. But for a while I was really trying to pick up. I used to watch, I still do, but I used to watch very regularly Jeffrey's channel. And he would always talk about the made in occupied Japan. So like, again, I was learning from all these different sellers, Scott being one of the, Scott does so much educational. I loved watching Scott's channel. Antique Nomad, if you don't know Antique Nomad, he also super educational. I learned so much from him. Occupied Japan is where I first started learning about it, I think from Jeffrey. So we're going to count this down. KP right now has it at 10. We're going to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to watch for my lag and then pull up the stop. And it looks like we are going to have KP is picking this up for $10 for the little figurine. So thank you so much, KP, for picking up the Scotty dogs. Let's see. This one is also partially open. Oh, maybe this is the rest of the egg. I think it is. Wait. Oh, it is. All right. They're like 2 months late for Easter. It is a little Easter egg box. So gave you a little taste of the the base. Now I found the top. It's got the little Easter bunny on the top with a little bow around his neck. And he is marked on the bottom. And I don't remember who this is. It is, Vinny nailed it. It is Lennox. And it actually has a date on it as well. It saddens me that I may need to be increasing the magnification of my cheaters. It is 94. So 1994. It is definitely Lennox. It's in perfect condition. Tip it so you can see the bottom. Try to do it right side up. $5 we start. So this is the Rabbit Easter egg. Easter 1994 limited edition Lennox with the Lennox copyright on it. So this is $5 for the little trinket dish. Pardon me, I apologize if that was loud. But my hands were full and I couldn't hit the mute button quickly enough. $5. And we got KP Gunther starting us out with $5 for the little Lennox Easter egg. What do they call it again? The Rabbit Easter egg. So I think they did a different one every year. I don't know if they always had bunnies on them. Again, once upon a time, it's only been a few years. Oh, thank you, Vinny. It's only been a few years, but I remember when I did the research, they did a different style. That's why it's limited edition. They did a different one every year. And I think they all had rabbits on them, but I don't remember. And thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, Val. Everyone's being very, very helpful in chasing away my demons. All right, so we're going to do the countdown. Right now, we got KP at $5 for the Easter egg box. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I watch for my lag to do the stop. And it looks like this is going to go to KP Gunther for $5 for the Easter egg. So we'll have a Easter bunny keeping the Scotty dogs company in the shipment. All right, it's 8:30, so we're gonna do we'll do it for a little bit longer. See if I can at least combine these down into one Rubbermaid. So I got a little tiny one at the bottom. Let's see what this says. Oh, it's another DG. So we got another dog. Oh, I remember this one. I really needed to look this stuff up in advance, but we're gonna start him at $3. It's a little bisque hound dog with a little puppy hound dog next to him. He's starting at $3, and he does have a label on the bottom. I remember researching him, and I want to say he's related to Disney. Let's see if my memory is correct. It's got a foil label on, and it says handcrafted for the Little Gallery. Oh, it's Hallmark. So Val's at $3. So it's 1984 Hallmark cards. Bisque. Yeah, I wanted to say it's Disney, but I think I was remembering the Hallmark. And Vinny is going to entertain us with our Elvis impersonation of the hound dog. And if anyone's watched my channel, you know my mascot is a hound dog. So I used to have a basset hound. So I've got a 20-pound bobblehead basset hound. So when I find hounds, I don't want to keep them. I don't need another collection. But this is just cute. And he is designed to be bisque. Like, he wasn't ever painted. It's like he wasn't cold painted. It was, is it Fox and the Hound? It could be. I don't remember that movie particularly well. But it does say Hallmark on the bottom. I thought it said Disney on the bottom, but you can see it's really, really hard to make out what the bottom says. And it looks like the price tag maybe once was like $13, but it's from 1984. So we got $3 from Val. We're going to go ahead and count him down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to watch for my lag and then do my stop. And the countdown shows it's going to go to Val for $3. Okay, well, we're going to do stop. All right, thank you, Val, for picking that up. All right, we're very close to finishing up one of the boxes here. We got another one wrapped in newsprint. So this is another old one. So let's see what this. This was an F. Yeah, you know what? I apologize. I didn't realize it went away when I started the banner. So why is it not showing? How do I show my... Okay, I will just type it in. I don't know. It used to be on my screen. For some reason it's gone and I can't figure out how to get it back up. But thank you, KP, because I didn't even realize that was gone. I think when I replaced it with the banner to talk about my Whatnot sale, I think I inadvertently deleted the one that had my email address. So there it is in the chat. So it's thmvintage@gmail.com. And oh, wait, I think here it is. There we go. I knew there was a way to get it back on there. But thank you for highlighting that. So there it's on the screen now. So this is another old F. So there's another figurine. It's kind of heavy, but it must be one of the first ones because, again, it's wrapped in newsprint, which I stopped doing very early on. Oh, I remember these. I actually did several of these. So this is, wait a minute, am I correct on this? No, this is not what I was thinking of. So this is Vanstone, made by Vanstone, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I had some stuff that was made out of not pine cones. It was made out of some sort of like a nut. This is not it. This is like some sort of a pressed stone that this company made. So you can see it's kind of polished on the bottom. So it's I'm not sure. I think it's like a manufactured stone, but it's a super dark. I'd say it's black in color. Mother Goose with her goslings, $5 to start with this. It's actually somewhat heavy because it is like a stone. I just don't remember what it is. And I'm sure like Vanstone, that's what they did. So I don't know when these were made. Maybe a souvenir piece, but it doesn't say anything on here. Like it doesn't, other than the sticker, it doesn't say where it even was made. So it just says made by Vanstone, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And then in French, Fait au Canada. So I guess because of Montreal, they did their things in dual languages. Okay, so I see two people came in at $5. I see Robert back in the day finds as first. So on my phone. So Val, if you want that, you need to go up to $6 to get the goose and the goslings figurine. There's something showing up in the picture. There's white. That is just dirt. That is not a chip. That is just somehow dusting. I don't really have anything to dust in there. Let's see, does that do it? Don't quite have anything to wedge in there, not everything wet. So Val brought it up to $6. Just a cute little paperweight. So we're going to do counting down. Val's has it at 6. We're going to count it down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And watching for the lag and see who gets that. Back in the day, fines kicked in. Stop. And just see who's the last one. All right. So back in the day, Robert picked that up for $10 for the Vanstone Goose family. So congratulations, Robert, for sneaking in and picking that one up. Let's see. What do I have? If anyone wants coasters, let me know. Got something else wrapped in paper that appears to have separated. So what is this? Oh, okay. Yeah. So these will be $3. What this is it's a set of 3 individual salts. So there's salt cellars. All of them are clear, but all of them are different shapes and sizes. So we've got this kind of beveled size, with the star molded into the bottom. That's 1. Then kind of the smooth edged. That's 2. And then the square is 3. So we have 3 of them for $3 to start out for the clear salts. Little small, you'd have to get some really small votives to fit into some of these. But so these would just really be, you don't have to use them for salt, but you can also use them for, of course, I don't really have anything, but you can also use them as pedestals. So like if you have a small globe, small ball, these actually make really nice platforms to be able to hold up items to just give them a little bit of presence. So Carol is picking those up at $3. And that's great because since you already have a shipment coming to you, you're not going to be adding all that much onto it for the cost. So for $3, we'll go ahead and count this down quickly. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And watching for my lag. And it is going to go to Carol for the $3. And Lilith, thanks for joining as one of Scott's viewers, the turmeric, one of the turmeric viewers. So thank you for picking those up. Great deal, like $1 a piece. Unfortunately, you're dealing with the shipping, but again, since you've already bought something, your shipping's not bad. So picking those up for basically $1 a piece is a pretty good deal. Let's see. So this is wrapped in tissue paper. When did I do that? I don't remember doing anything in tissue paper. Okay, I vaguely remember this. This also falls in the category of something that had a flaw. Now I've got to find it. So it's a little urn. It'll be, we'll start at $3. It's a little big for the toothpick holder. And I want to say it was something near the feet. Was it near the feet? No, it was actually here near the rim. It is a minuscule chip right in the rim that you can see kind of goes into the gold. Really, you can't see it, but you can feel it. So it is tiny. But again, it's porcelain. The value of porcelain is when it's in perfect condition, because porcelain doesn't stay in perfect condition. So of course you can always sell things that have damaged, but when they're damaged, you're at a lower price. So we're going to start this at $3. It is marked on the bottom. It is the Andrea company. I've had a lot of stuff from that company. And it's just a great little Asian motif, kind of the rust colored flowers all accented in gold, but it's got the hairy paw feet holding it up. So again, it's like almost impossible to see the nick, but it is there. And so while this in perfect condition would be worth, a decent amount of money, because it does have a chip, it loses that money. Andrea by Sadiq. Thank you so much, Vince. I knew there was an S, and I'm like, again, I haven't touched this in a long time, because I used to do a lot of this, and it sold. I did, things did sell. And, maybe I oversold the fact that it had damage to it, because I was very clear in that in the listing. So I just never sold. But I really like some of the stuff they do. It's one of the things I joke about too. I don't think I've had anything tonight, because I don't have a lot of it. But some people get caught into the brands. Sometimes the brands just have good looks, and what Andrea by Sadiq or Sadik does, they all just look good. They do high quality, hard paste porcelain, and it's just a cute little piece for $3. So we will pass that along the way. Let's see, what's this? Got something else in a bag. So it means this is kind of a part of a set here. So it's got the K markings. We've got something for the kitchen. What do we? We got multiple pieces here. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, I remember these. Okay. These are actually really nice, but I'm still going to start them at $5. These are soapstone napkin holders, or napkin rings, in the shape of a conch shell. And there is a set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of these things. So they would sit on your table kind of flat. There is the space in there to run the napkin. They are soapstone, so they're heavy. So this whole bag is probably going to weigh. It's going to weigh over a pound just for napkin holders. But this is carved soapstone. So beautifully done. It's kind of like all of these like beige-ish, brownish colors in here, kind of a little bit of a rusty color. So Robert back in the day finds it at $5. You can see all the edge carved into the conch shell, and then a place to roll the napkin would be in there. I guess you wouldn't have to use them for napkin rings. I mean, if you set them down, you would see a little bit of an opening there, but it's not a lot of room for a napkin ring or napkin, to be perfectly honest. And I agree, KP. I thought these were really cool. And actually, the very first item I've ever sold in Etsy was a set of napkin rings. They were not conch shells. They were shell-shaped napkin rings, but there's a specific type of shell that they were. They're like the brown, kind of like a tiger's eye color. and I can't, there's a term for them and I can't think what they were, but I knew it at the time. So I listed them, and it was one of those cases. It was like, that's what gets you motivated, because I think I found them at a Goodwill for like $3, and then I sold them on Etsy for like 35. And they were probably worth even more, because I think it was a full set of 12. So this is the conch shell. It's the type of shell that it was. And it's like, it was speckled with a brown, like a dark brown and a light brown color. And I'll think of it at some point. But anyway, these are conch shell shapes. This is right now, Robert has these. This is a set of 6. So you're getting them for less than $1 a piece, for these napkin rings. And again, they're all the same. They might have a slight different variation, but they're all perfect condition and they're all the same. I just don't have to unwrap them all. So a set of 6, we're going to count it down for $5 right now for Back in the Finds Vintage. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going to watch the lag and close this out. And it looks like they're going to go to Robert at Back in the Day Finds for $5. So congratulations. All right. That's going to bother me now. It's not, I know it's not the Nautilus, because it's not the shape of the shell. It was this type of shell, like the color of the shell. And they're Polynesian, if I remember right. Yeah, it's going to bug me. I can't think of what they were called. But anyway, that was my first sale. I don't even know why I remember that, but it's like, hey, I can actually buy something and resell it and be successful. Won't this be easy? Yeah, no, it won't. So let's see. So that was that. And let's see, anything else just opened up. Oh, I remember him. So he, for some reason, was unwrapped. I don't know why he's unwrapped. So this was another figurine. So this, I had the FF for the Norway company that I couldn't remember exactly what it was, something Fjord. This is FF for Fitz and Floyd. We got a sassy goose. I guess it's a goose with the big goose feet. So we're going to start her at $5. She still has the paper label right on there saying that she is Japan, Fitz and Floyd, and she's dated 1985. She is here to hold something, but I don't know what. Like you would lose toothpicks in there. So I don't think she's a toothpick holder. She's a little small to be like a scrubby brush holder. Like if you put her on the sink, but I want to say that's kind of what she looks like. That's kind of what she reminds me of, but it'd be in the back. Maybe a toothbrush. Like it's fairly deep. Like if I put a pen in there, I mean, it's fairly deep. So I guess you could put toothbrushes in there. So I'm not sure what she would have been sold to do, but she's a Fitz and Floyd piece. Got the sassy, the pink hat. She does not have the blue bow. She's got the pink bow just from her hat. So she's not the blue bow geese, but she does have blue accents on her kind of grayish blue body. And then she's got her little bird feet. Cowrie shell. That's what it is, KP. You seem to go down the technical term. But I'm like, wait, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, yes, tiger cowrie. That's what it was. It was the cowrie shells. And those are actually, I don't know if they're not necessarily collectible, but those are a thing. So again, it's like one of the things I learned about Etsy. I needed to find like the right term. Cowrie shell happens to be one of them. And so I've actually sold more than one set. That happened to be the first set that I sold. And every time I find them, I do buy them to resell because they typically will sell. Not huge money makers, but if you can pick them up for a few bucks, they'll make 20, 30 bucks. So, it's usually a fairly safe bet, particularly closer to the holidays. So hey, that's what Google's for, KP. There's nothing wrong with admitting you Googled something. So $5 for the Fitz and Floyd goose. She will do well in my booth. So I have no problem taking her back. Let's see. We got a tiny thing here at the bottom. And tiny things are good because they're easy to ship, and they're bad at the booth because they're easy to steal. Unfortunately, that has actually been a problem at my current booth. I have a collection of Soviet era pins, and I put them all in either little baggies, depending on what type of pin they were. They were either in little baggies that I bought specifically for them, or I also have used the coin holders, those like folders that have the clear on the front and the back. So I'll put some in there. And I started, I think I had like a bin of like 25 or 35 of them and was tracking sales. And all of a sudden realized that I only had like 10 left in the bin and I'd only sold like 5. Like they'd literally just, that's how many walked off. So tiny things in the booth is difficult. But very easy to ship. So this is an F that's very, very small. So let's see, what is this going to be? This is actually wrapped in paper towel because it was so small, paper would have crushed it. And it is another dog. So this one, hey cutie. Okay, so what, a French bulldog? What do you think? What do you think that one is? Certainly not. It's not a basset hound and it's not a dachshund, which are like the two things I'm always on the lookout for. And my ex-wife had schnauzers, so I can usually identify schnauzers fairly early, fairly easily. But he is going to start. We're going to start him at $3. So he is just a little dog with a little flower around his neck. I'm not sure if he's marked. He is marked. He has a Japan stamp on the bottom. Yeah, Vinny, it is. Like some cases, like if you really want to steal a $2 item, like I'm not gonna get that bent out of shape. They're not like that valuable, but it's also they're not that expensive. So like, why do you feel? And the people just feel entitled. And the other thing I've noticed, particularly, and even online, people assume like we're like Amazon. Like I've had so many people that are like, oh, okay, well, I'll give you that much, but then you have to give me free shipping. I'm not giving you squat because I don't get free shipping. I remember I kind of got into an argument with somebody that was on the West Coast. He was in the state of Washington. He wanted an oil can that I had. So Val's starting it off at $3. He wanted an oil can and I had a decent price on it and totally open offers because that's the way things work. This was an eBay item, although it was from the 60s. It could have been an Etsy, but I didn't feel like that was an Etsy thing. So I had it on eBay. And he said that he wanted to make me an offer on the item. And then he also said, and I'll pay you $5 for freight. And I'm like, I can't ship it across the street for $5. And that was my exact words to him. Like, I can't ship this for $5. He's like, well, yeah, but the price of that plus the shipping, that's just expensive. Well, then buy it from somebody closer. Like that was like also almost literally my answer. I'm like, well, that's not my fault that you live on the other side of the country. You'll need to find one closer to you to get better shipping. He's like, well, there are no others available. Like, yeah, I know. So the cost of the price is the cost with shipping, and he wouldn't buy it. So I sold it like a couple of weeks later, sold to somebody else. And it's just like, it's unfortunate, but we don't make money off of shipping and we're not Amazon. Like we don't have an entire fleet of people at our mercy to be able to do like super cheap and include free shipping. And nothing in life is free. If I'm going to give you free shipping, I'm going to double the price. So, you know, it's the nerve of some people. So we're going to do a countdown. Val has the possible Chihuahua, which I actually wouldn't argue that could be a Chihuahua. It's got the big eyes. $3 right now with Val. Advances on that would be counting down at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I gotta be able to type in my message. And too many things going on. And stop. All right. And yes, that I don't like color. I'm always afraid that somebody named Karen is going to be affected by that. But yeah, it's an eBay Karen. And it's also one of those cases, and I think it has gotten worse in the last few years. It's the case of entitlement. It's like, well, I want this, therefore you need to do this for me. Well, I want more money, so you need to be able to pay me more. You know, so it's like we don't all get what we want. So it's a difficult thing, and the anonymity of the internet is just it's rampant. Like, you know, people just feel like they can get away with a lot because you get mad at them or they get mad at you. They can just block you, and then suddenly you can't do anything. So thank you, Val, for picking up the little Chihuahua / French Bulldog / whatever that was. Let's see, there's another relatively small. This one seems a little heavy as well. This one's marked DG. So it looks like I mixed the dogs and the figurines into the same bin. And I'll probably just do like maybe one more item after this. We're at the 2-hour mark. I don't want to run too long. I'm trying to. I saw one of these. It's like a game. I'm trying to figure out by feel. Do I remember what this is? And the answer on this one is absolutely not. It's funny. It's funny feeling. Oh, that would be why. He's funny looking. It is a poodle, I guess. And it is this one marked? No, this is not marked. It has that striation thing on the bottom again. He's fairly heavy, like he could be stone. Like I don't think he's resin. I think he seems heavier than that. So we're gonna start him at $5. It looks like it's all just kind of done from the same piece. I don't think the eyes are anything special. I think that's just they did a certain carving or molding into the roughness of the fur, but they didn't do it for the eyes. So the eyes and the nose are just part of the same material. And he's kind of like an Easter Island dog. You know, he's just like he's very flat. Like he doesn't have his muzzle is not protruding very much at all. It's kind of like goes down a little bit further than it goes out. But I would say based on the fur, I'm assuming he's a poodle. Oh, the ears do kind of look long for a poodle. Like maybe it's one of those. What was the dog that Obama had? Like some sort of a Portuguese water dog or something like that. But I don't know if those would have been popular back when these would have been made. Because I'm going to say this is like a 60s, 70s kind of thing. So he'd be at $5 to start out with, but he's just a fun little black pup. And I think that the black pup, he will also do well in the booth. So, but no, we're not going to get a chance to put him in the booth because Val is picking up a menagerie of her own. We're going to add the poodle to her collection for $5. If we've got anybody else counting that one down, I don't know, Heather Elizabeth. I think it's made out of something. Like I said, I don't think it's resin. I think it is, and it's heavy. So lava rock, maybe. I don't know if I've ever had anything else made out of lava rock, but I don't think I've also ever seen anything like this. It is totally black, and it would be kind of like that heavier weight, so it's possible. But whatever it would have been marked with, it would have probably had a label, and the label is long gone, and there's no other marks on there. But that's possible. So $5 for Val. We're going to count them down at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is going to be watching for the lag to do the final count for the poodle. And it looks like that is going to Val at $5 to add to her dog figure collection. All right. And I've got something in here that I'm curious about because it's in a big yellow bag. And I don't have anything else in the big yellow bag, so I don't know what this is. It's marked with a K, so we've got something from the kitchen. It's in a bag, so it's got to be a set of something. If I can open this up, what do I have? Something kind of big. Oh, I think I might have a teapot. I didn't think I still had any of these. Is it a teapot or a gravy boat? What do I have? Oh, I'm not going to sell this. Well, I'll offer it. It is a gravy boat and an underplate from the 70s. It is marked Society Collection Stoneware, Japan. It is the cinnamon pattern, and it is literally a plated gravy boat. So we're going to do $3 to start out with the gravy boat. I do not like this. I didn't realize I still had this. I actually got this as part of a much bigger collection. And I sold all the other serving pieces and those actually did bring in decent money, but gravy boats, there's not a huge need for them. People have said if you sell them around Thanksgiving, people like them, but I'm doing a horrible job as a salesman, but I'm a huckster, but I'm trusty, and I don't see why anyone would want this. And I don't want to have to pack it for $3. So we're just going to skip that over, and I'll put something else out. Yeah, something smaller, something that'll be easier to ship. What is this? Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of gravy. I just have this whole I don't want to recreate my childhood. Like all these people are like, oh yeah, it's like resellers make money because people are reinventing and recreating their childhood. I don't want to recreate the 70s. I have night terrors about the 70s. So the idea that whole boho chic thing coming back, you be you, but that's really not a aesthetic I'm looking to encourage. All right. Oh, these were fun. I actually sold several of these. This must have been, I don't remember if this was, it wouldn't have been part of the same set, so it must have been separate. But I have sold these before. So it is a candlestick flower arranger. So it's gonna be $5, and it's the original box, all gold with the black paint. And what these are, you can kind of actually see in the picture. They are little candle cups. You can see it down here. That has a hole in the bottom, so the candle can still fit inside the candlestick holder. But then the idea was you would fill this container with water, and then it became a flower frog. So you could then put little small cuts of flowers in the candlesticks to hold the KP. Like again, I'm never going to yuck someone else's yum. If they like this boho chic, you be you. I've made enough macrame. Like my mother had a craft store, and I made so much macrame. I don't really ever want to see it again. That's just some things I don't really want to recreate. I want to recreate the 1870s, not the 1970s. So this is what they are. They've definitely been used, or I'm going to assume that they've been used. But they still have the original box. I would think that these are probably, I don't know, just based on the box, I would think these are like a 50s or a 60s thing. Like I could see like little happy, like Donna Reed, making her little floral arrangements to, go down the center of her table. We will sit proudly on your candlesticks and hold fresh greens and flowers for a lovely table. So kind of a cool piece, $5. And there are 2 of them in the box. So again, the hole goes all the way through, so the candlestick can go through it, and then that pops off. You fill that with water, and then you put that back on, and it would hold. Oh, it actually is stamped. What does it say? Oh, it just says patent pending. No year or anything, no maker, but I guess the maker would be whoever's on the box. White Plains, New York, no zip code, so probably before 1963. Yeah. Anyway, 70s music, that's a totally different story. That is totally different story. Okay, so Robert's going to pick these up. Back in the day finds is going to be at $5 for the floral arrangements. So we're going to go ahead and count that down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm watching for the lag. Oh yeah, Sonny and Cher. And then you also got music like that crosses from the 60s into the 70s. And we got the stop. All right, so we got Robert back in the day. Finds $5. Add that to your stack. Okay, so there were a couple advances. This was also kind of like an internal test for me. I don't, as we said at the beginning, I don't typically do offer ups. It seemed like 80% of what I just offered basically sold at my opening price, which I'm totally fine with. I wouldn't ask for less than that. And only a couple things went higher, but I'm glad that some of them did, because that meant there was a market for some of those, and it balances us out. And appreciate all of you, putting up with my trying to figure it out and doing the timing and all that fun stuff. I'll try to maybe find a helper the next time. But this was kind of a last minute thing. I'm wanting to get back into doing things on Thursdays, either dropping a video or running a sale. So next week will be my first Whatnot sale. So that'll be next Thursday. So I won't have anything. I'm actually considering doing something on YouTube at the same time, like dropping a video, but we'll see. And then the following Thursday will be the drop sale that I'm doing with some of the people, like Vinny is in it, D is in it, Dear Angela's Vintage is in it. So that'll be in 2 weeks. And then probably I'll do another. I still have more stuff to do for my Etsy, but I probably will hold that off for like another couple of months, just kind of like break it up a little bit. I really need to do a video of the haul video that I made of all the stuff that I bought on this last trip, particularly some of the stuff I bought with Scott. Scott posted a video of some of the stuff that he and I did together. Admittedly, most of the video that I did, I ended up posting onto Instagram. I just have this really weird, like, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to consider it. His channel is so much larger than mine. I never wanted to look like I'm trying to like ride his coattails onto anything. And I was so grateful that he did stuff with me while I was there. I didn't really feel like I needed to put out another video to like, oh, look, I was with Scott, so I put some stuff on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you'll find some cute things of what Scott and I were doing. And I caught him looking and shopping for a couple of different things. And yes, KP. So I meant to do it by now. I was gone for 10 days, 11 days, when you included the weekend. I was actually gone further into the weekend than I had intended. So then I had to invoice all the stuff that happened while I was gone. And then I had to catch up at work. That did not go as well as I'd hoped. So I really have kind of fallen behind. But I do want to do the video because I found some really fun stuff, and it's not all paper. So I'll probably post multiple videos, maybe do one for the paper and one for some of the other stuff. Some stuff that I'm keeping for myself. And then other stuff that I'll be reselling. But so I will try and do that. And I like to mix it up. Like, I don't want my channel just to be about sales. Like, that's not why I started the channel. But they're fun to kind of throw in there. But I also want to do some of the educational stuff. So I'll do more. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you for the confidence that you felt I was doing an okay job. It's different. I know it has kind of become the norm. And I figure if I'm going to do it on whatnot, like, I should kind of get used to the idea. And this was kind of a perfect storm for it because it's like, look, I was starting everything at like $3 or $5. So if people wanted it, you'd have a chance to kind of get it still pretty cheap. We'll see how I do that, going forward. But appreciate everyone's time. Thanks for hanging out with me for so long. I don't know. I can't remember if This Overstuffed House is still having a sale tonight. She sometimes was doing a later sale, so you might be able to catch something later tonight. But anyway, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for putting your trust in Trusty Huckster, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.